to know.
Talk 1470. WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Taking Care of Business with Freddy, Fixit, Santory, as they bring the power of AMP2.TV video format to the radio. Today's show will have interviews and concepts that bring you, the public, closer to how real radio and television work hand in hand to bring the best platform to sell your business. Tune in on the WWNNradio.com website or follow AMP on AMP2.TV website to see radio.
Good evening, Boca. This is Fred Santory coming live from the studios here at Beasley at WNN 1470. We're going to try to be more organized this wonderful Monday rainy day here in Boca. We have some new stuff that we want to come at you with. Calling number 888-565-1470 if you have any questions about the content we're going to be talking about tonight. We got something different. We have in-house Paula Prevost with Impact Deliverance Center, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Today's show is brought to you by AMP2.TV. My producer, Linda Harmon, is happy I said that because I never do. And it's 866-224-5422 is the number. We got Ken behind the glass doing his thing, helping us out. But let's get to tonight's segment. And again, remember, these are all shows that AMP2.TV has been doing on the air. And we've been talking about how radio and television are working hand in hand, and how we are able to bring product to the stations, and how you, the business person, if you own a business or if you want to sponsor a business, want to be heard worldwide, and we're using media on radio and television. But without further ado, let's get Paula Prevost in here. How are you?
Hi, Freddie. I'm doing great.
Now, Paula, you have a show called Impact Deliverance Center, and it's on Monday nights. You're going to be on tonight from 7:30 to 8.
Well, actually, it's called School of Deliverance Show.
It's called the School of Deliverance Show, yes.
Impact Deliverance Center actually is the name of the ministry, but the show is School of Deliverance Show. Yes,
Well, I was told that it was changed. Okay. School of Deliverance. School of Deliverance is good. And what is School of Deliverance? What does that mean?
Impact Deliverance Center, who we are, basically in a nutshell, we serve pastors and we serve leaders and the entire body of Christ and the community at large. Basically, we are the hospital, which is a spiritual rehab center. We serve people who need rehabilitation, and the program, the deliverance rehab program, include a School of Deliverance and Inner Healing, a School of Prayer, and also we do deliverance and marriage counseling, and also we have seminars.
So the School of Deliverance has multiple aspects.
Yes, that's
a lot of things that you do.
That's correct. So Impact Deliverance Center is the overall name.
Okay.
Yes, and then we have Deliverance Rehab Program, which includes our School of Deliverance and Inner Healing.
Okay.
And then we have the School of Prayer, and then we have Deliverance Counseling and Marriage Counseling, and any other counsel you could think about, which is like therapy. And then we have seminars.
Well, let me tell you, folks, one of the most unique and interesting things that about the show is that, and Linda's having a hard time because she's putting up all sorts of things on the screen. Okay. Again, you can watch us tonight on WNNradio.com. But one of the interesting things about Paula and her merry men of two is that I've known you for over a year. We've been doing the shows for over a year.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years now. And did you guys you guys drive in from Orlando to do this presentation. Now, talk about dedication. And continuing the cause of what you do is tremendous. But you have found a niche using video and the radio and the streaming so that you can bring in audiences from many churches, many backgrounds. You did a show a couple of weeks ago on here with a couple from Miami that was actually our #1 watch view show. I mean, you all had close to 10,000 hits on this one piece that talked about how you saved a couple actually from self-destructing, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
very big stuff. And what we want to do tonight is we want to tell those that are looking to do something on the radio, whether it's sell something, a show, or something on the radio to promote and produce. You had a tremendous influence on using this particular technology.
We have, Freddy, we have impacted so many people. You know, God has called me into this ministry now. I've been full-time for the past 20 years, traveling all across North America. Actually, I'm originally from the Caribbean, beautiful islands of the Caribbean, for those of you
I couldn't tell.
Yes, I am. But God has called me, and my call is to North America. And I was, blessed to travel all across Canada. We lived in Canada for many, many years, and America. And we have impacted a lot of lives, and we have brought a lot of changes to the body of Christ. So many lives has been impacted through our deliverance rehab program.
Well, it's amazing because you are viewed in over 112 countries, as you and I, we saw the list today.
Right.
You were amazed at some of those numbers, weren't you? You didn't think that it was that huge.
Yeah, when you showed me the number, actually I do the show, and we drive every week faithfully. People cannot.
Yes, you do.
People can't believe. People say, "Why you go to Boca every week, every Mondays for internet TV show?" I said, when you're called to do something, and when your heart is in it, and when you're passionate about it, it doesn't matter how far it is, because that's your call.
Well, it's been amazing thus far, and it's getting bigger. And you got 112 countries. You have over 250 viewers and listeners.
Yes.
250,000 viewers and listeners. It's an amazing ride that you've been able to accomplish from something that when we started, there was nobody there.
Yeah, and Freddy, people may not know this evening, but when we started almost 19 months ago, I was sick.
Yes, you were.
I was in a breathing machine.
I remember.
I was trapped with my breathing, as you know, back and forth in the hospital because we had a major attack on our ministry and our health, on the finances. We were in a deep ditch at that time after so many years of ministry. But I realized I embraced what I was going through for greater ministry. I did not see it as a negative. I embraced the pain because I realized that pain sometimes is good. Pain motivates me for something bigger and greater. So I had to give birth to something greater, which is now the internet TV show, the live stream, and now we're going into internet TV. Basically, I was fighting TV demons, because the higher you go is the bigger demons you're going to fight. I don't know if you've ever heard that term.
That's right. That's the challenge.
The higher level you go, you got to fight bigger devils, right?
That's right. And they get a whole bunch stronger too as you get going.
They get stronger, right? So, but I started on a breathing machine. Mary and myself, we drove. No money, no food, and you know the story. Nothing. When everything just crashed and came falling apart, and my husband walked out, and everything. It was a whole mess. But I kept focused. And I want to thank you so much, because at that time when we came to the radio station and spoke to Jody to just get on the air because we wanted to get a school of deliverance here, basically when God said, okay, just don't stay in this, just go. And I didn't know where I was going. I had no idea where I was going. And the Lord spoke directly to me. He said, go to Fort Lauderdale. And I came here, and we came to the station. Make a big story short, but Leslie had me on his show.
Leslie Jug with 980 Radio, one of the largest voices.
Yeah, what happened when you just came to approach me after the show? Because
I remember.
I had no idea you were doing this live stream over here.
I was producing the live stream show, and I saw you on the air. And Leslie had you back a few times. Right. It wasn't one time. I think he had you back like 2 or 3 times. And I saw him that day, and I said to him, Leslie, I want to meet this lady. And he said, why? And I said, because her story was fantastic, and what she was talking about was needed. And then I remember approaching you about, why don't you do a show here? Right. Now, Leslie does, we produce Leslie on WHSR 980 Radio, one of the sister stations, the international station. Numbers are tremendous in the international community. I mean, Leslie is a legend. He's been doing it close to 18 years now. And there you were talking about, the subject matter with him, which is on a reality radio show that he does at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I approached him and I said, I'm going to want to talk to you about doing a deliverance show. And a lot of people may not know what deliverance is.
Right.
And neither did I. So I had to look it up on the
Yes,
internet.
you were very interested.
And I said, holy mackerel, this is unbelievable stuff. But the impact about what you do and the lives that you touch is totally amazing. And I told you back then that word is going to get out as to what you're doing on radio, TV. And there was nobody at the time doing
It
it.
was amazing because you and Linda told me, you said, prophetess, it takes time. Because I had no idea what I was getting involved in. Internet TV show, that was new to me. And I mean, I'm a customer of radio shows because I've had radio shows across the nation, and I've had my own radio shows across to get the news out and the word out. But I never was involved in internet TV on social media on such a wide scale. And when you told me, you said, "Well, I said, how does it work?" And you said, "Well, you have to build your audience." We had nobody at all.
Nobody. Yeah, absolutely
and
nobody.
I'm amazed of the
numbers. And I
we
wanted
have
to
right
show you that because
now.
and
So
I didn't.
why can't you tell you're the producers, you're my producer, you and Linda. So why can't you tell our audience, a little bit about the growth that we have experienced in less than 2 years?
Well, it's amazing because your numbers, again, I think it was 257,000 viewers that we had seen that have come to view your shows with listeners. And there are another 50,000 impressions that we get from different regions of like Orlando or different areas in Florida. It's difficult to pinpoint the radio viewership, but the video viewership is there to be seen.
Okay.
And like I showed you today, and I didn't tell you were going to be on the air today.
No, you didn't. That was a surprise.
I said, come on, let's go on the air.
That was a surprise in less than half an hour. That was a surprise. Yeah.
Well, when I saw the numbers, and again, I had, sometimes you get caught up in what you're doing, and I had not looked at the numbers recently on your particular show. And when I did, I think the other day, I said to you, wait till you see what I've uncovered. I was talking to Mary on the phone. I said, I can't believe the number of countries. I'm not talking about just here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm talking about worldwide, the number of countries that you have.
Countries we have reached? What are some other
Well,
countries?
you saw them. I mean, there's Europe, there's
Brazil.
France, there's Brazil, there's Canada. There's the Caribbean.
Martin, we have so many people in St. Martin in the Caribbean.
Tremendous. Jamaica. You have a tremendous following in the Caribbean. And I think that a lot of that has to do with what you're doing and the way you're presenting it.
Okay.
So those numbers speak volumes, and anybody who gets on this ride, on this ship, as I like to call it, it's just going to go, to places that no one's ever gone. Now, you have an event coming up on December 7th in Orlando. It's going to be your first live studio audience. And this is another platform.
Yes, well, this is something I have always dreamt of as a child. I always really wanted to do something great for God. And I really wanted to do something where I can impact more women. And I really wanted to give women a platform outside of just going to church. Because sometimes so many people are churched out. And sometimes they have, like, what do we do? What are we going to create? The platform we're going to create is give people an opportunity to just share their testimonies and, to encourage them and to hear. So people from the outside world can hear what we're doing and hear what God is doing in our rehab program. And I want to be able to give our students at the rehab program and those who are coming for rehabilitation an opportunity to interview them. And not just interview them, but interview pastors with some of their struggles that they're having at the church. And we really want to reach out to the church, to the church world, and to pastors that are going through because, over the past years, there have been so many pastors and churches who have been under attack, and so many times they have not have a platform where they can just come and talk and just get it out and just help somebody else. So God spoke to me that it's just like, doing something a person have insight.
Right.
And revelation. And when we started to do this internet TV show, God began to reveal to me this platform. Well,
it's really the unique part of any good program. A lot of people can say, well, we have a deliverance center because all of a sudden, since I've known you almost 2 years, I have never seen so many deliverance centers
oh my God,
pop up.
I know, just pop out.
I mean, it's like grass. You look at a field and every blade of grass is another business doing this thing. But even though you have all these so-called deliverance centers, the ones that are doing things differently, like yourself, the ones that are delivering the message differently, you got into audio, you got into video, you're reaching all levels, all different angles. People can hear you, they can see you, they can also feel what you're saying.
Yeah, and Freddie, one of the things that's really impacting lives is my transparency, because I keep it transparent, I keep it real, I keep it, I put spice into it, I bring life into it, I bring something different.
That's right. And you can see that. And that's my point. Hearing it, so a person goes on a radio program and they talk about it and they're on the mic and, they can be dressed any which way they want and they're running their business supposedly any which way they want, which is fine. I mean, it's been done for hundreds of years. The radio is never going to disappear. But then the listener has to listen. They have to focus on
and one of the things
what you're saying.
One of the things that is really powerful about School of Deliverance internet TV show is that so many women and so many pastors can relate to the story, to my testimony, because of my transparency, my realness, just keeping it real, because so many times things happen to us in the body of Christ, and because we are Christians. It's funny, let me just bring this like a piece in, Freddie. I mentioned to you, in the heart of my pain, in the heart of my brokenness, when I was bleeding, when the attack came 2 years ago, Oprah called me when I was on the breathing machine.
I remember that.
I was on the breathing machine every 2 hours, wanting to do an interview with me. I was too sick to fly into New York. So Mary told her producer, well, Prophetess is sick. She can't do any kind of thing. But she insisted. She said, I would love to talk with her. And I did an interview with her at home because I hardly could walk. I hardly could talk. But for some reason, God gave me the strength that morning, that afternoon at 1 o'clock. And we had a 2 hours interview. And at that time, I was on the breathing machine every 2 hours. So my breathing was bad.
Right.
And we had a 2 hour show. And it was amazing. When Oprah called me, I got greater insight. I said, why me? And she said something that shook me. She said, we search, and out of over 200 deliverance ministry, your one was number one that popped out. And that's why we're interested in your ministry. We would love to hear from you. But I got greater insight. And the Lord spoke to me. He said, I didn't just allow Oprah to call. The doctor admitted me at the hospital. So I was at the hospital. I was hospitalized for about 7 days. And whilst I was there, I was really thinking about that call from Oprah. And I said, Lord, give me deeper revelation, because there has to be a deeper revelation. Out of every person or every church in the country, I received that call from her.
Right.
And the Lord says, I want you. I called her to give you. She called you to give you a sign. And I believe what's about to happen, that is the sign. It was not just to go on her internet, on her TV show, or for her to, to be a guest on her program. It was for me to do something that was impacting.
That's true. And I
beliad that's what's about to take place.
But that's about to take place.
With our live internet TV show.
I agree. I think that the delivery and product and what you are, the message that you're using and how you're using it, the two go hand in hand, which is very unique. But let's take a break. We're gonna be right back on the other side, and I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about what we're doing in Orlando.
Sure.
And what's coming in the future.
Sure.
All right. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP, the number 2.TV. Are you a family caregiver? Are you taking care of a spouse or loved one who can no longer take care of himself or herself? Are you dealing with Alzheimer's disease and don't know what to do? Do you feel burned out, frustrated, and just don't know where to turn? You've tried doctors, lawyers, and mental health professionals and have come to realize that they don't have practical answers to these questions. What you need are experts, non-clinical family caregivers with 25 years of active experience helping thousands of family caregivers like yourself. People who can help you provide a better quality of life for yourself and your loved one. Who you need are David Levy or Paul Vadiato. Reach David at david@caregiverreality.com or reach Paul at caregiverreality.com and let them help you pick the right path towards improving the quality of life for you, the caregiver, and your loved one. You are listening and watching Taking Care of Business, powered by AMP2.TV, as your host brings you new concepts using radio and TV together, forming a powerful platform for business people in all areas. You have a question or comment? Call in 888-565-1470, and our host will provide ideas to bring your business to life. Now, back to the show.
And we're back. And Linda made it. There you go, Linda.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job, Linda.
Again, this is Taking Care of Business, sponsored by AMP2.TV. We can watch us. You can watch us on WNNradio.com. I'm here with Paula Prevost. And I called Paula once Paul, and she's never let me ever forget it. But I was sorry about that. 888-565-1470 is the number here if you have a question on anything that we're discussing tonight. I also know that, Paula, you're going to have your show on December 7th. And is that going to be a pay-per-view?
No.
That's
It's
gonna
going
be
to be
free.
open for the general public.
Okay, but you do have the ability now. I know that we set this up almost a year ago.
That's
And
right.
it's funny because when we set this up, it was another thing I said that nobody was doing at the time. But we have you have a pay-per-view channel because you have some unique programming that's coming along that people will pay to learn, and there are materials that you send out on the computer. There's all sorts of good stuff that comes with the pay-per-view. But that's already in place.
Yeah, and it's amazing when you brought that to me. I had no idea what was pay-per-view at that time. I have to say that.
She wasn't a big wrestling fan.
I wasn't, no. And I had to learn as I go, I had to learn it. But it stayed on the website for over 1 year, and we're just going to leave it there. We're just going to create it and leave it there. But what that's going to do is going to do something real tremendous, because as you know, social media is growing rapidly. And no matter where you are in the world, you can be a part of our deliverance rehab program.
That's right.
No matter
That's
where
right.
you are in the world. If a person needs counseling and they're in Europe, we can still counsel them in Europe.
That's
if they
right.
need deliverance counseling, marriage counseling, they want to be a part of our School of Deliverance. Because Freddy, in our School of Deliverance and Inner Healing, we have different courses. We have courses on inner healing, which is emotional healing. We have courses on rejection, the deep roots of rejection that we have suffered in our lives. We have courses on wrong relationships, and we also teach you how to develop the right ones.
Right.
We have courses on demons and deliverance. And we have we have courses on so many different things. And now we have a school of prayer, because so many people are struggling with their prayer life. And they don't understand how to pray effective. You can pray, but there is something about effective prayer that gets results. And that's what we really want to introduce. Prayer that breaks bondages, prayer that breaks chains.
Right.
So in our School of Deliverance, we have the seminars, the deliverance seminars on various topics, which is an entrance point into our program. So no matter where you are in the world, you can be a part of our rehab program.
And that's unique, because a lot of businesses that have contacted you, because I know you do business to business, you offer a lot of services for them as well.
Yeah.
Besides advertising, which a lot of businesses have to do anyway. I mean, people have to advertise just to get their products out there so people know which is the best this and which is the best that. And a lot of business people, they've come to understand different aspects of business. So if you have a good employee, which you offer business-to-business services where you can talk and counsel employees. And it doesn't have to be on the religious stage. It could be on relationships. I've seen you do it. I've seen you guys bring in people in here and work out relationships. It could be
one of the things you have to get to know about me, I'm a people's person. And I have been in business all my life. And one of the things I always believe, church is not always in the four walls. And sometimes we hide in the four walls, and that becomes religious. I'm a very practical person. So I like to just go out and evangelize and talk to business people and talk to people in the community.
Right.
And we want to do something not just for the churches, but for business people who have employees who are suffering with procrastination, with lateness, with sometimes people go on a job and they're just there for a paycheck, but they're not motivated to get the business where the business needs to go.
Right.
So all that is a part of deliverance too. All of that person lacks something. There is a root problem why a person is always late at work.
Well, the bottom line is what you do is a business.
Right.
This is a.
So we can provide sessions for business people to help with their staff and with their workers. Oh yeah, we do that. We could bring in like a seminar in the business place. You don't always have to be in. They have to come out. I can come to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, businesses are always looking for an angle to to make their bottom line bigger and to be heard and. A lot of the things you do works hand in hand to do that. But let's give out your phone number if they wanted to be part of the show on December 7th. Now, we're looking for sponsorships on there and people to come on board and help us put the word out. But what's the phone number?
Yeah, the phone number is 321-247-5685, and that's again 321-247-5685. You can also visit our website at www.proclaimingdeliverance.org. That's www.proclaimingdeliverance.org.
And then you can also come on proclaimingdeliverance.org tonight at 7:30 to watch
right
the
after
show.
the show, we have our own
at
show.
7:30. Yes, you have your
7:30.
own show, and come on down and take a look. And 888-565-1470 is the number. If you have a phone call, give us a call. I want to thank you for coming on. This is it. That's a half hour.
Well, thank you for having me.
I want to thank you for jumping in here and helping out. And again, that show is for December 7th, which is a Sunday. And give us a call so we can set up. Again, we're looking for live studio audience. If you are in the Orlando area, not Fort Lauderdale, this show is going on the road. It will be in Orlando. Where in Orlando? What specific?
We are going to be at the Crown Plaza, right between Sand Lake and John Young. So basically right next to iDrive, International Drive, where they have all the tourist activities going on.
Perfect.
So
all right.
we're going to be in a perfect location.
All right. Very good. Thanks, Ken. Thanks to Linda. We'll see you guys next week. Enjoy your week. Be safe. See you on the other side.
You have been listening to Taking Care of Business, powered by AMP2.TV. You can reach AMP2.TV by calling 866-224-5422 and join the AMP2.TV radio TV network. We give you all the tools you need to have your own show, both on radio and TV, and bring new energy and ideas to the business you're trying to promote. If you want to be a leader in new concepts and make your business number one in the area, AMP2.TV has the platforms to get you there. 866-224-5422 is the number to get you started. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were